My father stood up at the family dinner table and said, "Elena is no longer part of this family or this business, effective immediately." Everyone stared. My cousin Veronica smirked from across the table. My mother didn't even look up. I sat there, frozen, humiliated in front of aunts, uncles, cousins I'd known my whole life. And that's when I realized I was finally free to build what they'd never let me touch. My name's Elena. I'm 27 years old. And for most of my life, I worked in my family's logistics company doing the jobs no one else wanted. Warehouse coordination, scheduling, client admin, the invisible work that kept everything running while my father and Veronica took all the credit. I watched them run operations. I watched them golf with investors and smile in trade magazine photos. And I watched them ignore every idea I ever had. I wasn't loud or flashy like Veronica. I didn't have an MBA from some fancy school. I had a community college certificate and a brain that saw problems they were too arrogant to notice. The business was dying. Shipments were delayed. Clients were complaining. Our tracking system was older than I was, but I knew how to save it. I'd been teaching myself to code in my off hours, building something that could automate shipment tracking, cut delays by 40%, save thousands every month. They saw me as disposable. I saw myself as underestimated. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. I want to hear your story, because what happened next changed everything. 2 weeks before that disowning dinner, I pitched my software idea in a staff meeting. I'd been working on it for months, a prototype that actually worked. I stood up, laptop open, and started explaining how it could automate our entire tracking system. My father cut me off mid-sentence. "You're a scheduler, Elena, not a developer. Stick to what you know." Veronica laughed. Actually laughed. "This is embarrassing. Did you really think we'd let you lead a tech initiative?" I tried to show them the working demo on my laptop. My father reached over and closed it. Enough. Just like that, I sat down, face burning, while everyone else moved on to the next agenda item like I hadn't even spoken. But then, after the meeting, Veronica came up to me. She smiled, friendly, warm. "Hey, I'm sorry about earlier. Dad can be harsh, you know? But I actually think your idea has potential." I looked at her, surprised. "Really?" "Yeah. Can I see the demo? Maybe I can help you pitch it differently. You know, frame it in a way he'll actually listen to." I was so desperate to be heard that I believed her. I showed her everything. The full prototype, the documentation, the cost projections. She nodded along, asked smart questions, took notes. "This is really good, Elena. Let me talk to Dad." A week later, there was another board meeting. I wasn't invited. I found out later that Veronica had presented my software idea as her own. She'd taken my documentation, edited out my name, and stood in front of investors claiming she'd developed it. When I confronted my father, he looked at me like I was insane. "Veronica has an MBA. You have a community college certificate. Who do you think investors will trust?" "But it's my work." "Enough, Elena. You're making yourself look desperate." That's when he called the family dinner. That's when he disowned me in front of everyone. He framed it as cleaning house. Said I'd been insubordinate. Said I'd tried to take credit for Veronica's innovation. No one defended me. Not one person. A week after the disowning, I went back to the office to pick up my personal items. My key card didn't work. Security stopped me at the door. "Sorry, miss, you're not authorized." I stood there, humiliated again, while a delivery driver I used to coordinate with walked past. He looked uncomfortable. Later, I ran into him at a coffee shop. "Hey, Elena, I don't know if I should say this, but they're telling clients you were fired for misconduct." My stomach dropped. What? Yeah. Veronica's been doing damage control, saying you tried to sabotage the company or something. I couldn't even respond. A month later, my uncle had a birthday dinner at a restaurant downtown. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could talk to my mother privately. Try to reconcile. I walked in, and the whole family was already seated. Veronica saw me first. She spoke loud enough for the entire table to hear. "Oh, look who showed up. The one who tried to sabotage the company and got herself kicked out." My father raised his glass. "To family who actually contribute." They all clinked glasses. My mother sat there, silent. Wouldn't even make eye contact. My aunt muttered, "Always knew she didn't fit in here." I turned around and left. I didn't cry until I got to my car. But that night, something shifted. The rage I felt stopped being pain and started being fuel. A month after that, Veronica called me. Her voice was fake sweet. "Hey, Elena. So, we're having some bugs with the software. You know how it works, right? Can you just fix it real quick?" I almost laughed. "You stole my work and now you want free labor? Don't be dramatic. It's family business. Or are you still bitter about being dead weight?" I hung up. And I realized something. They didn't just underestimate me. They needed me. And they didn't even know it. I moved into a tiny apartment across town, started picking up freelance gigs, worked nights and weekends rebuilding the software from scratch. Better than before. Faster. Smarter. Scalable. And I started reaching out to old industry contacts. Quietly. What they didn't know was that I'd already filed preliminary patents on my original software concept, before Veronica ever stole it. I'd also been in contact with a former client of the family business, a regional shipping director named David who'd always respected my work. When I told him what happened, he didn't hesitate. "I believe in your vision, Elena. Let me introduce you to some people." He connected me with a startup accelerator program for logistics tech. While Veronica was taking credit, I was taking meetings. While they celebrated, I was coding. While they forgot about me, I was building something they'd never be able to steal again. I got accepted into the accelerator program. They gave me a small seed investment. I kept everything off social media. Told no one. I gave myself 6 months. If I couldn't make it work, I'd leave the industry forever. But if I did, they'd finally see who I really was. The accelerator paired me with a mentor named Joanna, former COO of a major logistics firm. Sharp. No nonsense. She looked at my prototype and nodded. "Your family's company is bleeding clients because they're 5 years behind. You're not. Don't waste time being angry. Build faster than they can fail." I did. I worked with a small team of developers and beta tested the software with 3 independent shipping companies. The results were incredible. 50% faster tracking, real-time updates, integrated with existing platforms. Word started spreading quietly in the industry. Meanwhile, Veronica's version of my software launched. It was buggy, half-built. Clients complained. I heard through the grapevine that the family company was losing contracts. My father doubled down. He did an interview in a trade blog blaming sabotage and former disgruntled employees. Veronica posted on social media. "So grateful to lead innovation at our company. Hard work pays off." I didn't comment. I just kept building. Then, 4 months in, my software got featured in a logistics tech newsletter. TrackWise, the new standard in shipment intelligence. A week later, I got an invitation to present at a regional industry conference, the same one my father and Veronica were attending as exhibitors. Joanna called me immediately. "This is your moment, Elena. Don't shrink." I didn't. The day of the conference, I walked into that convention center in a blazer I'd saved up for, hair styled, shoulders back. I saw my father and Veronica at their booth across the hall. They didn't notice me at first. Their booth had almost no foot traffic. A few brochures scattered on the table. Veronica on her phone looking bored. I walked past them to the main stage. When my name was announced, I stepped up to the microphone. Good afternoon, I'm Elena, founder and CEO of TrackWise. I saw Veronica's head snap up. I walked the audience through the problems plaguing the logistics industry: inefficiency, outdated systems, client frustration. I used examples that mirrored my family company's exact failures. I didn't name them. I didn't have to. Then I demonstrated the software live. The room was silent, engaged. People asked questions. I answered every one. I ended with this. This technology was born from seeing inefficiency up close and knowing I could do better. The applause was loud. Investors and potential clients swarmed me as I stepped off the stage. That's when my father and Veronica pushed through the crowd. Veronica tried to smile. Elena, wow, funny seeing you here. Congrats on whatever this is. My father looked tense, angry. You used proprietary knowledge from our company. I stayed calm. No, I used my knowledge. The work you stole was always mine. I have the patents, the timestamps, and the original files. Do you? Veronica went pale. I kept going. Your version failed because you didn't understand it. You never do. You just take. A journalist who'd interviewed the family company months ago stepped closer, clearly listening. She looked at me. Is it true your former employer used your technology without credit? I smiled. I'll let the lawsuit speak for itself. My father stammered something. Veronica tried to pull him away. I didn't yell, didn't gloat. I just said, good luck at your booth. That evening, I signed a partnership deal with a national shipping firm. The same one my family company had been trying to land for 2 years. I didn't go back to another family event. Didn't answer Veronica's frantic texts. Didn't respond when my mother finally called 3 months later, asking to talk things through. TrackWise grew. I hired a small team, moved into a real office with windows that actually opened. One day, I saw a feature in a trade magazine. My family's company had been acquired by a competitor after financial losses. Veronica's name wasn't listed on the site anymore. I felt nothing. Not anger, not victory, just clarity. I used to think I needed them to see me, to apologize, to admit I was worth something. But the truth is, I'd already proven it. Just not to them. I proved it to myself. I built a company culture where ideas matter more than last names, where quiet people get heard. Now I sit at my desk and look at a framed photo on the wall. Not of family, of my team at our first product launch. People who believed in the work, not the name attached to it. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. If this story hit home, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to prove yourself to people who doubted you? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're watching from somewhere in the world where you're still fighting to be seen, drop your location below. Let's build a community of people who didn't wait for permission. Hit subscribe if you believe your worth isn't defined by who believes in you.